Okay, here we are again to discuss about IELTS reading tips. If last time our discussion about the kinds of the questions in the reading and all of the elaborations what the reading IELTS is about the grading system, now is how students can manage the time during the IELTS reading test. Because in academic model that the students are very fond of, while general training preparations quite not famous. So this video is only about the academic model, because there are 3 passages with 40 questions, 60 minutes for every student who is about to take the IELTS reading test. And some students are already familiar with the tips, some students are already familiar with the techniques, some students are familiar with how to solve it, but there is still a big questions. How much time should you spend for reading? How much time should you spend for answering? How much time should you use to transfer the answers from the questions that you have found the answers to the answer set? It will be so tricky. And these tips are designed for you. If you have already the techniques and also tips already, it will broaden and help you and enrich the technique that you have. But if you are still new to this, you can try this in the test or probably during at home for the preparations for the reading that you have for the IELTS next time. Let's start the tips number 1. Tip number 1, this is the preview the questions. Okay, if you have different tip from the previous ones, but this is quite straight to the point. Don't read the passage, because you are not expected to read the passage and you enjoy it. That is not what the IELTS test is about. The IELTS test for the reading is how you understand the questions and what the answer is. So while reading, your brain is working hard to create the picture of what the passage is. But if you have never read or you have never known about the passage, automatically your brain is dry. And that's the reason you need to equip yourself with articles or knowledge or every kinds of the subjects you have read before. So you read the questions, and after that you find it in the passage. The questions will provide the outline of the contents of the passage. The questions will bring you what the text is about. So by reading the passage first, you will get lost, the meaning you run out of the time. The questions the questions and the answers will be done simultaneously during the process of scanning, skimming, and reading for detail. Number 1, don't read the passage first, but read the questions. That's number 1. What about number 2? Number 2 is you read the introduction first, conclusion next, body last. Imagine this is the passage that you are not expected to read from the beginning until the end. You waste your time. So what should you do? You read in every paragraph. You only need to read the first sentence and what is the conclusion. What about the body? You can do it after that. Okay? Because after previewing the questions, you can start on the passage again. You will read the passage again by using what? By using the lead. By using what? By using the keyword that you have found in the questions. You can start on the passage itself again, spending time for this just about 5 minutes is okay, but not too much. Okay, not more than 5 minutes if you want to read it. Okay, because after that you will go to the questions. Because the principle is always the same with tip number 1. Question first, after that is passage. Not the passage and after that questions. Okay? As long as you have read both the introduction and the conclusion, and the rest of them will be easier for you to do. What about next tip? Tip number 3, don't read every sentence. Imagine this is the paragraph, right? So let's start with the main point of this paragraph. That is the first sentence. Of course, you will read this first, and after just skip it. You don't need to read them all. So the next one, you read the conclusion, the main point again. This is the way of you do skimming. Skimming is when you read the text quickly and you know the general idea. Again, the general idea, not what the text is all about. Just because before the test you have prepared so many practice, so many exercises, and you have read so many articles. So that is the general idea. That is skimming. But what techniques that you use when you are doing the skimming? Use your eyes moving forward. And some students, they make it back skipping. What is back skipping? The meaning is you don't know what the word is and you spend too much time for that. Because when you do it and you try to understand what the word is, you will run out of time. Once you found the idea, that's all. You don't need to read all the supporting sentences. Supporting sentences are only sentences which can make you biased. The meaning could be hard for you to find because of the supporting sentences. You will know and you will need to read the supporting sentences when the questions ask you to read, not because you want to do it. Remember that you only read the passage based on what the questions ask you to do. The confirmation of the main idea will be the end of that. What? Because the questions will lead you and wrap up what the text is about. Tip number 4. Tip number 4 here is you read the text and after that you underline specific information. Remember about the number, about the name, about the place, about the specific thing, that the terminology in the text you underline. It is very helpful. Another one that you need to know that because in the IELTS the answers of the questions will be in the right order. So once you know the location of the answer of the certain number, the following number will come after the location. For example, you know the answers of the questions number 11 is from passage B, or this paragraph B. So answers of the question number 13 will comes from paragraph C or probably the end of paragraph B. It never comes from paragraph A. So it is also related to scanning. Why? Because while you are reading it and finding the keywords from the questions, it will help you to locate the place of the name, organization, persons, or words that you are searching. In this case, you will know what the text is and the answer. Very helpful. Try to do the process of underlining, and at the same time you use your fingers. This is like the multitasking and marking these words for letter references when the question asks you to locate words that you are searching. Tip number 5. Okay, look at all this. It's quite crucial. Spend no more than 1 minute per questions. So you can look at that's the reasons while you are doing the IELTS you need to use the watch. So it is already 1 minute. Just it's too much time. Make it less than 1 minute. The calculation is 40 questions. We make it the assumption this is the standard one. 40 questions, 40 minutes. Because it's 3 passages, so 15 minutes, 5 minutes for each passage, and 5 minutes for checking. The meaning is you need to check the answers the answers in the answer sheet. Okay. The final reading tip is very crucial. You must be able to manage your time effectively to get 40 questions in the correct ones. Yeah, you want to get that one band 9, but it is a tough questions inside, and the tricky one will need more time than what you can do it. So you don't need to force that one. Okay, you can always go back to the end and answer the very hard questions. But if you run out of time on certain questions that you don't know whether it's true or false, you just waste your time and waste your opportunity. What is the next tip? Okay, this is what is good and what is bad. If someone is saying to you there's not enough time to complete the reading test, yeah, that's good. It's not enough time. You can imagine it. We are, as the foreigners, we are not native speakers. We have to be able to read 3 passages about 2,000 something words, can be 3,000 words just in 60 minutes. At the same time, with the 40 questions, it is not enough time. That is right. If you're thinking like that, that's good. It will force you to do it. The next one, spend about 2 minutes on every question, is also bad. You can imagine it, 2 minutes time 40 questions, it will be 80 minutes. It's not yet time that you transfer the answers to the answer set. It's very bad. That's the reasons when you are doing that IELTS test, you have to keep on doing trial exercises at home with the stopwatch. You should answer every questions. That is right. If you don't know, you guess, yes, because the mistakes or the wrong answers will not reduce the score and the band. Go as quickly as you can, but you cannot do it. The measurement is the right answers, not the fastest student to finish the questions. What is the point that you make it everything in the quick way, but in the end you get band lower than what your expectation is? Stop when you find a word and you don't know the meaning of if you do it, but I can guarantee you fail. At least that there's no failure. Probably the band is not what you expected. You cannot understand, you cannot know, you are not expected to know all words in the passages. So when you find the word that you don't know, just skip it, go forward. Okay, you can go back later if you still have time. Use your finger to help you read faster. Very good, do it. Finger, eyes, pencils, marking, and after that you do it simultaneously. You do it one by one and everything. Multitasking work that you do it, because that's the way, the only way you can finish the reading passage. Don't waste time highlighting. Yes, because once you underline words that you don't know and you try to know it and you try to make it the translations and even you translate the words into your own language, oh God, okay, that is not a way that you are doing the IELTS preparations. You have extra time at the end to fill the answer sheet wrong. Once you have the answer, transfer to the answer sheet. Why? Because once you are thinking that, oh, I still have time, no, trust me, no, because transferring 40 questions into the answer sheet is not an easy way, and it will need more time for that. So once you know the answer, just transfer to the answer sheet. Okay, I know all the tips are not helpful sometimes for the students who are not well prepared, for students who understand what they have to do, and for the students who have already preparations for that, and students who are familiar with the techniques and the tips. It is quite helpful for you. But if you want to expect about higher band, don't forget that reading is the way that you can broaden your thinking and wide range of articles and topics and history, nature, science. You need to keep on reading them all and use your time, use your watch, and it will help you in the end of the IELTS test. I think that's all. Thank you. See you. Bye bye.